Welcome into another edition of the Leadership Library, hosted by CEO and author Rocky Romanella. Rocky is the author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership, and has over 40 years of business experience as a prominent member of the UPS Supply Chain Solutions team, as well as the CEO of Unitech Global Services. So sit back, grab your notebook, and take a seat, and get ready for this edition of the Leadership Library.
Welcome to the Leadership Library podcast. I am your host, Rocky Romanella. Welcome. We've had some really good conversations over the last few months together. Appreciate all the feedback I'm receiving from all of you. And thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to our podcast. You know, I got asked a question. When we're trying to align on our mission, our strategy, our vision, our implementation of a new product or service or a new process, what are some of the questions I can ask to see if we're on plan or see is it resonating with all of our people? And I would say that you really have to make sure you align on your terminology. You know, do the words I use, do the questions I ask, do they resonate with our people? Do they really work with what I'm trying to accomplish? Are the meanings clear and are they true? Do people really understand what the mission is? And I think it's by just asking simple questions and making sure people understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. I also think when you ask them, well, what are your thoughts? Do you see it working? Is it going the way you thought it would go? Just taking that time to ask your people, you know, how is it going? Do you see what we're trying to accomplish? But listen, you have to be willing to get that feedback that it's not going the way you think it was going, or it's not being accepted the way you thought it was going to be accepted. Hey, look, some of the most frank, some of the best conversations I have ever had was when someone walked in my office, closed the door, and said, "Hey, I know this is not what you want to hear, but this isn't what our people think is what we're trying to accomplish. This isn't what they thought. What you're saying isn't resonating with them. They don't see the value of what we're trying to accomplish nearly as much as you do. And nobody wants to disappoint you." Now that's if they like you. Forget about if they don't like you. So I think it's so important to ask the right questions, have those trusted advisors. Remember, we talk about a trusted advisor when it comes to being a trusted advisor for our customer. It's nice for us to have trusted advisors within our organization that can come into your office, close the door, and say, "Hey, I know you don't want to hear this, but this is what you need to hear." And by the way, you have to be willing to accept that constructive criticism. Because if people find out that you don't handle bad news well, no one's going to bring you bad news. You need bad news. Bad news may be the best news you get before it becomes ugly news. So take it when it's bad because you still have a chance to fix it. Once it gets ugly, you may not fix it. So I think that to answer that question of how do I double check how we're doing, you have to be open to hearing bad news. And you have to let people know that you'll accept it. There's a way to present it. There's the proper way to tell you. I got all those things, but it starts with you accepting bad news. So bad news may be much better than ugly news. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us at the Leadership Library. Always great to have a conversation with each and every one of you. Be safe and have a great day.